personal relationships. We just got a room full of people looking at their phone. Why don't you turn to the person next to you and say, hey, how's your family doing?
You see, that's what separates an ordinary coach from a great coach. As you will see, this dude is all about building relationships. Please excuse my production or lack thereof. I'm up in Baltimore on a business trip, and I'm having to record this from a hotel room in frigid Baltimore.
Yeah, this isn't like South Florida. It's freaking freezing up here. Absolutely freezing. I should be back on the beach.
But I saw this presser by Mike McDaniel as well as the mic'd up video with Tua Tagovailoa, and I just had to record this video.
It seems like the only in-house do people really understand that we have a good team.
I just love that Mike McDaniel has created an us against the world familial attitude around the Miami Dolphins. He knew coming in that these guys would be facing a ton of adversity simply because of who they are. Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel are building a relationship and building a culture around this team that simply didn't exist with Brian Flores. Did you know that today is the 3rd anniversary of Tua's horrific injury at Alabama? In the 3 years since that injury, Tua has never had an offense that was built around him and a coach that believed in him like Mike McDaniel. And now we're seeing the difference. Nearly 200,000 people have watched the video that the Miami Dolphins posted with Tua mic'd up. But I wonder how many people understood that they were looking in. They had a lens to the type of relationship that Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa have been developing over the last couple months. Listen to this exchange on the sidelines and tell me if you've seen any video, read any article, heard any reporter talk about this type of exchange between Brian Flores and Tua Tagovailoa. Nope, it never happened. Listen to this.
So think about that.
Okay, then I'm going to go left hash.
All right.
That's
All right. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The answer to my aforementioned question is absolutely not. There was never an exchange like this between Brian Flores and Tua. McDaniel and Tua conferred, McDaniel chose a play, and Tua executed a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill. Later in the game, on the sidelines as the clock is running out, Mike McDaniel tells Tua Tagovailoa what he thought about his performance. Listen in right here. Listen closely. To me, that was incredible. Mike McDaniel coaching up his young quarterback at the end of his performance, and Tua completely all ears and deferring to his authority. He said, "Thank you, boss." Mike McDaniel has earned Tua's respect the same way that Tua has earned Mike McDaniel's respect. And Tua knows that Mike McDaniel is indeed the boss. You think that's a light, meaningless statement? Then you haven't been around for the last couple of years in this woke culture era that we're in right now. Acknowledging someone as your boss seems to be quite taboo these days, but it's a sign of ultimate respect on a football team. And it used to be a sign of respect off the football field as well. At least it used to be. I bet it reminds Tua of a time 3 years ago when he played under a boss. That boss being Nick Saban. And now he acknowledges Mike McDaniel as the boss. I can almost guarantee you that Tua Tagovailoa didn't have that level of respect for Brian Flores, and the feeling was probably quite mutual. Then in a post-game presser, Mike McDaniel underscored the statements he made on the sideline to Tua during the game. What Mike McDaniel said in that presser, and nobody knew it at the time, was exactly what he said to Tua on the sidelines. Check it out.
First of all, Tua's playing very, very high-level football. It's phenomenal to watch him commit to the process. It's the 3rd game in a row where I didn't feel a high or a low from him. He was just trying to execute each and every play. But it was rewarding and exciting because you can ask Tyreek and Waddle themselves. It's about a team.
What Tua is doing at quarterback seems to be even shocking Mike McDaniel. Here in this cut, he talks about a very specific level of QB play in the offense that he's running.
He's really seeing the field well, and I think sometimes the way how fast he's playing and how fast he's processing, you cut the tape on it looks like he might be throwing to number 1 or 2, but he is progressing through eligibles 1 through 5 in his progression with lightning speed, and that's really making it frustrating for a defensive front. You're in pass rush mode, you can't get to them. That can wear on you. So he's doing a lot of things visually, manipulating defenders, making really good throws, and getting the ball out, and putting in when he is throwing into contested situations from time to time. He's putting outstanding ball placement. So you can't. I don't think we've had. It's probably 90 pass attempts roughly in 3 games, and I don't think there's been a close interception or a turnover.
People who aren't haters understand what McDaniel just said here. Tua is moving quickly through his progressions. He's gone 90-plus attempts without an interception. He's throwing into extremely tight windows, meaning his ball placement is stellar. And his quickened release and pocket movement is stymieing defenses, preventing sacks, and most importantly, preventing injury. And what's most important, as the team has now realized that Tua is that dude.
So you're talking about being able to have aggressive style of football play where you can feel comfortable as an offense and as a coach to call a pass play and know you're not going to give the defense it back. So that's those are just some of the things. And then the biggest thing for me with Tua specifically is it'd be impossible to see, on game tape, but the whole team in the last month has taken an unbelievable jump in accountability, how they prepare, and how they just go about doing their jobs. And he's one of the main reasons that that's occurring. He is really come into his own skin in regards to being a leader at that quarterback position. His guys are rallying around him. He's demanding a standard and holding himself at a tremendous high standard himself. So those are just a couple of things we could have a Tua press conference if you wanted. Very, very happy with them.
Those attributes that Mike McDaniel speaks of are what really makes a championship football team. And he's absolutely right. Most of what he's talking about doesn't take place on a field, and you can't see it on a game film. This Miami Dolphins team is being built with relationships. And Tua Tagovailoa is the leader that this franchise needed for quite some time. Let me know what you think about this. I'll be back in warm South Florida in a couple days. I can't wait to get out of Baltimore. Talk to you then. Fins up.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?